My wife texted, "Don't be jealous, I'm with my ex." I broke her world in one move. Her message came at 2:14 a.m., a single vibration on my nightstand, a single sentence that carved a quiet hole through my chest. "Don't be jealous, I'm with my ex." The emoji was what did it. Not the words, not the implication, not even the casual cruelty buried inside her tone. It was the laugh, that stupid, weightless laugh. I stared at the screen longer than I should have. Not angry, not broken, just still. Outside, the neighbor's dog barked. Somewhere inside the walls, the heater clicked. Life kept moving, unaware that something inside me had stopped. I typed nothing. I called no one. Silence was my first reaction, and silence would become my strategy. Because she didn't send that message by mistake. No drunk typos, no accidental kiss of the thumb. She wanted a reaction. She wanted the explosion. She wanted to feel wanted enough for me to beg. But I'd learned long ago that emotions only weaken the person who shows them first. So I locked my jaw, placed the phone face down on the bed, and breathed slowly. She was somewhere with him, her ex, the man she swore she didn't even talk to anymore. And instead of hiding it, she texted me like a child dangling a match over gasoline. Interesting. Very interesting. A cold heaviness spread through me. Not grief, awareness. Something had been wrong for months. I knew it. But this was confirmation. And I don't break easily. Not anymore. Tonight, she lit a fire. Tomorrow, she would burn in it. The signs had been there long before the text. Her sudden girls' nights, her 3-hour grocery runs, her phone always face down, always silent, always guarded like a vault. At first, I played the fool, not because I didn't notice, but because I wanted to see how far she'd go. I used to romanticize her laugh, her soft hands, the way she leaned into me at night. But lately, affection had become a performance, a costume she put on only when she needed something. "What's wrong?" I'd ask. "Nothing," she'd whisper, kissing my cheek with the emotional temperature of a corpse. The distance grew. Then her interest vanished entirely. Touch became duty, conversation became filler, and every Friday night she disappeared with the same excuse. "Work dinner. Don't wait up. Work dinner." For a department that barely had enough budget for coffee filters. I knew she wasn't seeing coworkers, but I needed to know who. One night, she returned home smelling strange. Not perfume. She rarely wore it. Not alcohol. She couldn't stand it. No, it was aftershave. Someone else's. I watched her slip into bed, her breathing steady, pretending to be asleep before I even turned off the lights. That was the moment I stopped being a husband and became an observer. I watched, I listened, I memorized every shift in her behavior. And then, one day, I recognized the name she tried so hard not to say. Her ex. The man who once left her shattered for months. The man she said destroyed her emotionally. The man she swore she would never forgive. Funny how betrayal brings people together. And now she was with him again, on a Friday, at 2:14 a.m., sending me a message she thought would break me. But instead, it awakened me. I didn't shout. I didn't accuse her. I didn't even ask where she was. That was my strength, the ability to appear calm while the storm churned underneath. Instead, I began gathering pieces. Phone records. I requested detailed logs from the carrier. She had been texting one number and deleting the threads every night. Location pings. Not work, not a restaurant, a residential address on the edge of town, his address. Friday patterns. Her behavior lined up perfectly with a string of late-night visits. Always the same hours, always the same lies. I didn't follow her. I didn't need to. Patterns reveal more truth than confrontation ever does. And the quieter I became, the bolder she got. Her lies became lazy, her excuses became predictable, her affection became non-existent. But she failed to notice one thing. I had already stopped playing the role of her husband. I moved like a shadow through the house, silent, watching, preparing. The love I once felt was not dying, it was evolving into something sharper, a weapon, and she kept giving me ammunition. One night, as she showered, her phone lit up. A message preview flashed across the screen. Same time Friday? No name, just a number I already recognized. I didn't unlock it. I didn't need to. Instead, I memorized the exact timestamp, then placed the phone exactly where she left it. She never noticed. She never noticed anything anymore, except him, her ex, the man she used to curse, the man she used to fear meeting again, the man she was now not being jealous about.
I watched her dress up.
Friday nights. New lipstick, new earrings, new energy. Not for me, for him. The worst part wasn't the betrayal. It was how happy he made her. How she glowed walking out the door. How she hummed while doing her hair. How effortlessly she discarded the man who built her life with his bare hands. But that's the thing about betrayal. It always makes the betrayer feel powerful, right up until the moment they realize they were never in. The truth arrived in a white envelope. Phone logs, location history, screenshots I pulled from cloud backups she didn't know still synced, messages she thought she deleted, including the one that turned my veins to ice. Can't wait to feel you again. He still has no idea. Ha ha ha. The same laugh, the same arrogance. She had no idea that I forwarded it all to my own email, timestamped, documented. I didn't storm out. I didn't scream. I waited. Friday night came like a ritual. She dressed beautifully, more beautifully than she ever did for me. Tight black dress, soft curls, a glow that only comes from being chosen by someone forbidden. "Don't wait up," she said, grabbing her keys. "Wasn't planning to," I replied. She froze. Just a second, just long enough for a flicker of guilt to cross her face. Then she left, and while she drove to him, I drove somewhere else, to the address that had appeared so many times in her logs. Not to confront, but to confirm. I parked across the street. Her car pulled in 20 minutes later. He opened the door. She ran into his arms like she belonged there. Her laughter echoed across the yard, light, youthful, familiar. And in that moment, the last piece of hope inside me died quietly, not with anger, with clarity. When she finally returned home, 3 hours later, I sat at the table, calm, still, waiting. She stepped inside with messy hair and a guilty glow. "You're up," she whispered. I slid the envelope across the table. She looked at it, then at me. Her face drained of color. No words, only breathing, sharp, terrified breathing. Because she finally understood. I knew everything. She didn't open the envelope at first. She didn't need to. Her trembling fingers told me she already knew exactly what was inside. "Please, please don't do anything stupid," she whispered. I tilted my head. "Stupid? Like texting your husband at 2 a.m. while lying in another man's bed?" She covered her mouth. Tears threatened. But tears are just weapons for people who don't know what else to use. She reached for my hand. I pulled it back. She opened the envelope with shaking hands. The screenshot slid out onto the table. Her words, his words, her photos. The tremor in her breathing became a full panic. You weren't supposed to see this," she whispered. "I know," I said. "That's why I sent it to you." Her eyes snapped up. "What?" "I emailed everything to you. Your parents, his girlfriend, your boss, every person who should know who you really are." She collapsed into the chair. No, you didn't." Her voice cracked. Her world tilted. I stayed silent. She tried to reach for the papers again, as if gathering them might undo the truth. "You ruined me," she sobbed. "No," I said softly. "You ruined you. I just stopped covering the damage." Her breathing turned into a trembling gasp. She wasn't crying over losing me. She was crying because she lost control. And that is the deepest cut a betrayer can feel. I walked away before she could speak again. She followed me to the doorway, crying, apologizing, begging. Every apology felt hollow. Every plea felt rehearsed. She wasn't sorry she cheated. She was sorry she got caught. At the door, I turned to her one last time. "You texted me not to be jealous," I said quietly. "You don't have to worry anymore. I don't feel anything for you. Not jealousy, not love, not hate." Her face twisted with panic. "That's worse," she whispered. "I know." I stepped outside. The air felt cleaner, lighter, sharper. Behind me, she collapsed on the hallway floor, the sound barely reaching me. Her world was burning now, and I didn't have to lift a single match. Truth did all the work. I walked to my car with the strange calm of a man reborn. The night was quiet. My breathing was steady, and for the first time in months, I felt free. The final thought settled over me like ash. Sometimes the harshest revenge is simply removing yourself from the life of someone who thought you'd never leave. And just like that, I was gone.